was about high school that I started having really bad anxiety issues. I struggled a lot under the umbrella of like obsessive compulsive. So I really had issues with change. I had issues with panic attacks. I had issues with being in uncomfortable environments, things needing to be a certain way. I remember when I was around that time, I really tried to pray, and I did worship and I read my Bible, but a month or two in, I was like, I quit. I was like, this isn't fixing anything. So I was just angry and I was upset, and I was like, if God's not gonna fix this for me, or if God's not going to help me through this, and I'm just not gonna believe in him anymore. And so I stomped my foot and I turned around and I decided I wasn't going to be Christian. I was agnostic. It was at that point that I started to fall into some pretty heavy depression. I started self-harming, and I cut all the time to the point where like my arm was covered. I couldn't wear short sleeves. And I started having issues with my parents, and I was hiding from them because I didn't want them to see. And then I was struggling with like thoughts. So I turned into bad relationships. I looked to like physical things. I wanted attention. Along that same progression, my self-worth started just tanking, and I began to see myself as only worth what I looked like. I was only worth what I could, provide for other people. Through that whole period, God was working, and he was strategically putting people in my life. They gave me encouragement. They tried to give me hope, which is something that I had lost. I had lost this hope to live. I had lost this hope to strive for anything else. And so they kept trying to turn me back to God and turn me back to the Bible. They took the time to come alongside me and to not abandon me when I was at my worst. Because like looking back at that point, I was a horrible friend. I was a horrible daughter, a horrible sister. And I did a lot of bad things to people that was a result of my pain. But the people that God really sent in, they didn't balk at it. They gave me grace, and they continued to love me. Then I started to get on a medicine around that point because this was something that I really couldn't manage it myself. As I started to start healing, I started to get better. I started to kind of gravitate a bit more towards God. And I was like, well, let's see what this really is all about. And so, I'd throw up a prayer every now and then when I really needed extra help. And I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. But I still continued to live a bad life. And I remember the last boyfriend that I had, I remember leaving his house, and I remember driving home and thinking to myself, I was like, what am I doing? I don't care about this person, and I'm giving them everything that I am. Like I felt hollow, and I felt dirty, and I felt empty. And I had been going to church at this point, and I realized like, I cannot keep living this way. I'm like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm like, I know that I believe in God, and I always have, even if I didn't allow myself to think that. So I was like, this is it. I'm like, I'm turning my life around, and I did. I came to a point where I was at the end of myself. When you come to the end of yourself, you're coming to the end of what you can do. I tried everything. I came to the end of my capabilities as a human being, as a person. I had no more to give. I had no more to do. The best part is that when you come to the end of yourself, you come to the beginning of what God can do. He met me right there in that car as I was driving home, and he continued to allow storms to come my way. I still struggled with things. I still struggle with it today. But now I can really say that each time that I went through another season of this anxiety and another day where I'm really, struggling with my faith, every single time I came out a stronger Christian. I came out a stronger believer, and my faith grew. It's hard going through it, but when you come out, he's going to use it to strengthen you and to replace the fear and the doubt with confidence and faith. That is what he is all about, is creating something new out of something that was old, creating something heavenly out of something that was worldly. And this is pretty recently, in the last year or so, that I realized that God loves me. Like, you say that when you're a kid, but now I believe that God loves me. Like, God loves me. Like, what? This idea that I'm perfectly loved and that he sees me as worthy and worthy of investing in. I really don't think that anybody from my past would recognize me as I am today. I have a hope that I didn't have before. I have a peace that I didn't have before. It's a miraculous thing, God changing something into what, you know what I mean? Like, it's really cool.